Adding value in commercial real estate. Now, when you're adding value in commercial real estate, the key things are you have to use all the tools at your disposal. And right now, the biggest tool, the single biggest tool at your disposal are what Boris, his new program, Build is. It's all about permitted developments, prior approval, and in a nutshell, it is the single biggest reform or change to our planning regulation that's ever been done since the war. It's incredible. He has put an accelerant on the fire to enable us as property entrepreneurs to really force capital appreciation into our commercial real estate deals, and it's all starting tomorrow on the 1st of September. So let's jump in now with one of our board advisors, David Kemp, an absolute exemplary professional in his field, town planning specialist, and let's see what kind of relaxations Boris Johnson has done to allow us as property entrepreneurs to help create more homes in the UK and really force appreciation into our deals, to create more equity, to de-risk every single investment.
So probably the first place to look at, where a lot of people have been focused already, has been retail and the high street. The high street was already suffering in many respects before COVID. Some of the bigger retailers have been reporting profit warnings at the turn of the year, largely because of slow trading. The latter quarter, Christmas New Year period, wasn't terribly great until the election was out of the way, and then was a slow bounce back afterwards. But COVID's probably going to be the final nail in the coffin for a lot of retail businesses. And so there are opportunities there from a business point of view, where retail businesses are going to be suffering, and there's an opportunity to get in there and do something. But from a planning point of view, don't get overexcited. I think that's the overall message, because the government still wants to support local authorities' general desire to see town centres as the hub of activity. So they don't want to see the conversion of prime retail space to dead frontages of residential floor space. And we'll come on to it later in terms of some of the new reforms that Boris announced a couple of weeks ago. But where you need to be looking in the retail sector is probably more for peripheral pitches away from prime retail pitches. And there are two reasons for that. Where you are looking to convert retail to offices and to residential, particularly using PD rights, the difficulty is with more centralised pitches right in the middle of parades, is that they will tend to be the pitches which the council will, by and large, want to protect more than the more peripheral ones. So you'll have a bigger fight over them. They tend to be then also designated, particularly in some high street locations, as prime retail pitches. And therefore, there are extra tests that you have to pass under PD in order to be able to get a residential use out of them. That's not to say that you can't get a residential use or turn a residential use in any part of the ground floor to some of these retail pitches, but especially if they've got quite deep floor plates, quite deep floor space to the retail at the back. But even then, if you do that, you'll end up with a narrow and deep probably an extra studio unit at the back in the ground floor that looks out probably onto a servicing area and doesn't look particularly good in some cases. It doesn't, it might lift the value of the property slightly, but not a great deal, because it also has one very limited outlook, and that's from the rear. So that's why I say that if you could aim for more peripheral pitches, particularly where they have corner sites, then you can get windows on the side as well, and therefore you have dual outlook. You'll have a better quality residential space, which you can go for PD on. Now, the PD rights for retail, when you're looking at the shop, let's say, for instance, any of those shops in the picture on the right-hand side, the ground floor of those units, let's say that we're not talking about prime pitches, you could convert any one of these completely to residential. You go for one particular PD right for the ground floor, and then you go for a different PD right for the upper floors. So the PD right you're going for on the ground floor is not one that you can use in conservation areas. So if you're in a conservation area, you wouldn't be able to change any of these because you've got to change the external appearance of them, and that might be protected in terms of the impact on the conservation area. And you're limited to up to 150 square meters to change that ground floor space. But within that 150 square meters, you can change it to as many units as you can, and there are no minimum sizes, etc. So, that's a great thing. And also, although there are a number of other tests to pass, the council has up to 56 days to make that application. After which, if they don't make the decision within that 56 days, then you automatically get deemed consent for your change of use of the ground floor to residential. The upper floors, however, will be looked at, and they have to be dealt with under PD terms in a different way. So if you're looking at one of these shops and you're going down on a site visit, there are a couple of things you need to check. So you know that you've got a shop on the ground floor, or you should know you've got a shop. So it'll either be a shop or it will be a financial and professional service use, such as an estate agent, or it might be some sort of high street bank. And it's important to distinguish that, which is an A2 financial and professional use, from B1 office space. So you can get banks which are on the high street, or let's say, for instance, solicitors' practices. Sometimes you find them on the high street. But a lot of solicitors' practices, even though they're on the high street and you do have walk-ins without appointment, some of them do not fall into A2 use. Some of them are B1 use. So you'd be going to trying to convert them in a different way. So whenever you look at one of these shops or one of these units, I think the overriding message, without trying to get too complicated to you, is you need to know what you're looking at. You need to know what kind of use class it falls into. And something can fall into A2, financial and professional, it can fall into B1. If you're not sure, you need to ask a planning consultant. So there are rules that, or guidelines, which indicate that taking all the evidence together, it either falls into one or the other. And it makes a difference because it depends upon how much you can do in terms of change of use and how many units you can get out of it. Generally, B1 is better than A2. It's less restricted in a number of ways, and you can get more units in because it doesn't have a 150 square meter floor cap to it. But you need to know what you're looking at. And then you look at the upper parts, and then you have to consider, well, how do I get into the first floor, the second floor? Do I go in only or principally through the shop? Because there might be a secondary access, like a rear means of escape or entry, a fire escape. But you often find that, but then there is a principal means of access through the shop. And if that's the case,